Here is a summary of episodes 252 through 270 of the Candace Owens investigation. Episode 252 aired Monday, October 27, 2025. Titled Charlie's Angels or Demons. Disturbing footage emerges. Candace says when Charlie was shot, she envisioned the band reuniting to investigate his death. Tyler Bowyer, Andrew Colvett, and Stacey Sheridan, who held the camera when the casket was brought off Air Force Two. Sheridan was brought in by Bowyer to attract big donors. Candace is incredulous that they all seem to believe the Fed slop. Rob McCoy says that his son Mikey called him the minute Charlie was shot asking for prayers. Rob says that Charlie left a clear succession plan for Turning Point. Candace analyzed Mikey's video footage, debunking his claim of dialing on his phone. She exposed 3 lies about Cameragate from Terrell Farnsworth, sparing Erica from seeing footage, checking with Turning Point lawyers, and not knowing how to send files. Candace shared text exchanges with Charlie where he called her the Iron Lady of America and himself Moses, saying he might not live to see the end and asking her to be his David. Charlie told her, "I am not afraid of it, I just know it to be true." Candace declared, "I think I'm going to go ahead and be Charlie's David." In debuting her new book, Make Him a Sandwich, Candace reads quotes by other celebrities including Ireland Baldwin saying Candace is the most disgusting, hateful, cancerous human being I've ever come across. Candace says that is amazing considering that Alec Baldwin is her father. Candace says that she believes her and Charlie were sent handlers before they went to the UK. Episode 253 aired on October 28, 2025. Titled Charlie Ripped a Hole in Reality. Candace discussed Mike Cernovich's energy shift concept and recounted the Kanye West manifestation moment. She theorized that she and Charlie were assigned handlers after Kanye's tweet and named David Horowitz, father of Andreessen Horowitz, trying to buy TikTok, Eric Weinstein, Rick Rubin, and others who showed sudden interest in them. Tyler Bowyer introduced Charlie to many people and started hiring new staff, including Andrew Colvett. Politicians told her and Charlie not to talk to Kanye. Candace had a spiritual pull to visit the UK. A February 2019 clip about Hitler and nationalism went viral, and Candace believes that was deliberate to separate Candace from Charlie, as she went to work for PragerU after that. Candace noted Turning Point began running like a military operation and connected various people's military backgrounds who have come up in the investigation. A nurse tipped that Charlie's medical file appeared at Utah Valley Medical Hospital, contradicting reports he was at Timpanogos Hospital. Turning Point justified Mikey McCoy's behavior after the shot as Charlie drilled in them what to do in that exact event. Candace theorizes about military infiltration into churches. A YouTuber infiltrated Candace's book club to clip her comments, suggesting government involvement in Charlie's death. Bridget Macron's tax forms are released to show her listed as a male. Episode 254 aired on October 29, 2025. Titled Why Isn't the Trump Family Asking Questions About Charlie Kirk? Candace played a clip of Donald Trump Jr. on Megyn Kelly's show saying he believes the federal investigation, despite being usually conspiratorial. She challenged Don Jr., who is a hunter, to make a statement saying a 30-06 would leave Charlie in the condition found, knowing he understands ballistics. Candace noted Don Jr. is under his father's influence, who has turned on the Jeffrey Epstein case. She mentioned Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump's Israeli investment ties. Candace suggested political considerations and international relationships might be influencing the family's public position on Charlie's assassination. Episode 255 aired on October 30, 2025. Titled Breaking News. The Egyptian military was in Provo on September 10th. Candace revealed a military contract plane departed Fort Bliss at 6:13 a.m., heading to Montana, but dipping to 300 feet over Provo at 9:16 a.m. It returned 26 minutes after Charlie was shot, making another low pass. Derek Maxfield posted the plane was empty when it left Provo, but it picked up friends in Arizona. The Egyptian military plane made multiple trips between September 4th and 10th, including to Wilmington, Delaware, then Cairo. Tips indicated military contractors were dropped in Provo, with the plane laying over in Wilmington before Cairo, possibly a discreet mission. Candace examined 3 years of flight data and theorized foreign involvement. She challenges Kash Patel to dispute this information. She addressed Josh Hammer's Daily Mail article calling for Tucker Carlson to be neutralized for having Nick Fuentes on his show. Episode 256 aired on October 31, 2025. Titled Infiltration. Charlie Kirk was being tracked for years. Candace connected Egyptian plane flight patterns with Charlie's tweets and Turning Point faith events over 3 years. She investigated Sean Foyt as a new Turning Point faith contributor connected to NAR, New Apostolic Reformation. Tyler Bowyer was described as King of Shady, with allegations of inappropriate behavior with young male interns and possible embezzlement. Candace revealed Bowyer is fluent in Russian, studied Russian, and has possible Ukrainian ties including UK orphanage involvement. She noted many Russian speakers around Charlie and questioned if Mikey McCoy's wife is Ukrainian. She acknowledges the 33-hour timeline and Freemason Lodge number 33 in Utah, as well as Tyler Robinson's file adding up to 33. Candace felt like there was a hostile takeover of Turning Point, which became bigger than Charlie due to his ambition and trust. In the comment section, Candace says that Charlie flew into Salt Lake City on September 10th for an interview with a restaurateur, Andrew K. Smith. Episode 257. Aired on November 3, 2025. Titled, Matrix Revelations, Erica Kirk Speaks. Zionists Lie About Charlie. Candace addressed Randy Fiennes' Tucker Carlson is not MAGA signs. She revealed that in July, after Tucker had Nick Fuentes on, she spoke with Charlie and Andrew Colvett about not suppressing or deplatforming people. Candace discussed Charlie's relationship with Ben Shapiro and showed a photo of their inside joke, Charlie puffing his chest out over Ben. She noted Matt Walsh was asked to host Turning Point, but Daily Wire said he couldn't unless Ben Shapiro was also invited. Candace defended Erica, questioning what lies she had told and emphasizing she's the mother of Charlie's children. After previewing Erica's interview with Jesse Waters, Candace suggested she would have put an interim CEO in place rather than immediately installing Erica. Kash Patel's sensational girlfriend tweet was criticized. Episode 258. Aired on November 4, 2025. Titled, Exclusive, Kash Patel dances around Israelis on September 10th. Candace shows the amazing Mikey McCoy montage and details his and Elizabeth's travels with Charlie and Erica. Rob McCoy stepped down from head pastor to pastor emeritus at Thousand Oaks Calvary in January 2025. The church was funded by the Wilkes brothers, who also fund Daily Wire and PragerU. McCoy bought a Phoenix house, sold his Thousand Oaks home, and listed his San Diego property in August. Via Sam Parker, we learned Turning Point was requested for the UVU event on July 28, unusually late, with no ambulance present against Utah law. Candace revealed 12 Israeli cell phones were on the ground at UVU on September 10th. Personal accounts opened in Israel. She challenged Kash Patel to deny this, questioning if they belonged to exchange students, tourists, or U.S. students studying abroad. Tucker Carlson discussed Christian versus Zionism messaging on Dave Smith's show. Georgeson was identified as a habitual SLC event disruptor in the comments, and it was noted that the footage of the shooter running on the roof was filmed from the Hall of Flags corridor. Episode 259. Aired on November 5, 2025. Titled, Mamdani Wins. Charlie Kirk questions haunt MAGA. Candace notes that the UVU request to have Charlie on campus came unusually late, just weeks before the event when requests typically come months prior. She discussed Zoran Mamdani becoming NYC mayor and showed a bizarre debate clip of him being pressured about visiting Israel. Brett Cooper faced Zionist attacks. Candace analyzed shooting footage showing Dan Flood guiding Charlie down and laying him on an equipment suitcase. Mikey McCoy never uncovered his ears even after moving far from the shooting. She replayed Blake Neff's Turning Point account of post-shooting events describing Mikey's quivering lip. The first Turning Point YouTube post after Charlie's death featured the amazing Mikey McCoy. Candace noted signals suggesting another 9/11 type event might be coming. Episode 260. Aired on November 6, 2025. Titled, Number 1 Podcast Worldwide. Plus, Erica Kirk's interview. Candace celebrated becoming the number 1 podcast globally and reviewed Erica Kirk's Jesse Waters interview. She used a Meghan Markle analogy asking if Erica and Turning Point need time or wants fame and control. Candace addressed Ali Beth Stuckey's tweet about November Turning Point events not being planned months before, with Lila Rose claiming her events are planned in weeks. Alex Clark stated she didn't turn on ads for Charlie shows, implying that Candace was profiting off of Charlie's death. Candace accused Turning Point of being involved in a cover-up. Regarding a non-disparage agreement after Brexit, Candace challenged, "Sue me. I want all the smoke. We're in a new time. It's literally God time." A YouTube commenter says somewhere Bridget Macron is sighing a sigh of relief. Episode 261. Aired on November 7, 2025. Titled, Ben Shapiro is crying again. Candace addressed Ben Shapiro's Megyn Kelly interview where he made accusations against Candace pinning Erica Kirk in Charlie's murder. Ben pressures Megyn to denounce Candace's actions on stage. Eric and Lara Trump are pressed about Israel at a Turning Point event. Episode 262. Aired on November 10, 2025. Titled, Why is everyone crashing out over the Charlie Kirk investigation? Candace revealed the feds seized Timpanogos Regional Hospital footage immediately. She connected January 6 to feds and stopped the steal with charismatic pastors. Lance Wallnau's 7 Mountain Mandate, religion, education, family, government, media and arts and business and finance was discussed. 4 of 6 protest permits on January 6 went to charismatic pastors. Turning Point Faith's military pastor link was examined. Candace discussed the November 7, 2018 Thousand Oaks Borderline Bar shooting, a reunion event, where Rob McCoy knew the shooter and was then elected mayor. She investigated Romanian sex trafficking connections, large California churches, and Paul Havsgard. Allie Beth Stuckey questioned Candace for implicating people without evidence. Mark Levin's text exchange with Tucker Carlson about a debate was shown. Carrie Smith's Deprogrammed podcast accused Candace and her viewers of cult behavior. Episode 263 aired on November 12, 2025. Titled, Megyn Kelly Goes Scorched Earth on Those Lying About Charlie Kirk. Megyn Kelly clarified the record at her next event, confirming Candace never accused Erica Kirk of killing Charlie. She shared a video showing Tucker Carlson's exchange with Charlie about going all the way. Go Max on controversial topics. Kelly revealed a female Jewish donor waited for Charlie after Tucker's speech and yelled at him. Taylor Lorenz tweeted, Candace appears to be the only person genuinely devastated by Charlie's death. Candace listed Turning Point verified lies that seemingly can't be critiqued because Erica is now CEO. The UVU July 18th request timeline was questioned. Who decided the event would be outside when UVU recommended the safer amphitheater? Mikey McCoy's name change from Michael was noted. Dylan and Austin Erickson, involved with Wi-Fi sponsor on September 10th, were investigated for creating Hampton's intervention alibis. Regarding Charlie's medical file being at Utah Valley Hospital, HCA-owned Timpanogos Hospital uses VDI software while IHC-owned Utah Valley uses Epic, systems that don't communicate. Butch Hibbs, brother of Pastor Jack Hibbs, was filmed at the event. Kash Patel's girlfriend's family's Freemason connections were questioned. Episode 264 aired on November 13, 2025. Titled, What Did Charlie Kirk Discover Near the End? Candace invited Frank Turek onto her show after he said she had no evidence. She says that Frank can explain how prosecutions work, and I can explain how friendships work. An email tip revealed Thomas Simono, a convicted serial molester whom Rob McCoy hired for home fellowship and defended on his podcast. Candace recounted prior Calvary Chapel Church scandals and Jack Hibbs coming undone. She investigated CIA links to Calvary's founding and Chuck Smith's connections. Regarding Egyptian planes, Candace received information she deemed necessary to share with the government, and will share that at a later time. Tucker Carlson was asked on Harry Cole Saves the West to disavow Candace. Allie Beth Stuckey and Alexis Wilkins, a Calvary Chapel member in California, were mentioned. In comments, viewers questioned if security handed something off after Charlie was shot. Candace noted they appeared to be hitting each other, but notes the ground was paved and re-leveled, hindering the investigation. Episode 265 aired on November 14, 2025. Titled, From Britney to Charlie. With pastors like these, who needs enemies? Candace connected all investigations, including MKUltra, with Bridget Macron, Kanye Psych Holt, Jeffrey Epstein, and Harvey Weinstein. She explained Calvary Chapel's link to Britney Spears through Lou Taylor, who is tied to CIA and Mossad, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeffrey Epstein. Rob McCoy and Lou started a Brentwood, Tennessee church mentored by Bob Coy. Candace showed clips of her and Charlie discussing real friends, with Charlie pointing to his left, so Candace looks to Charlie's left in the UVU footage. A man in a maroon shirt was filmed in bushes, never ducking during the gunshot, earlier photographed with someone named Samir. Butch Hibbs appeared in background footage during another witness interview. Candace mentioned an upcoming interview about Turning Point finances was delayed, as was information about Egyptian planes at government request. Episode 266 aired on November 17, 2025. Titled, Operation Mocking Plane, The Charlie Kirk Plot Thickens. Candace faced a Candace Owens is evil online campaign, and Frank Turek accusing her of making baseless accusations. Candace says, challenge accepted, let's go Max. She connected rising online attacks to mentioning planes. Charlie met with restaurateur Andrew K. Smith on the morning of September 10th, unusual for something seemingly small. Charlie was obsessed with planes and had a photographic memory. Email tips suggested the planes were tracking Erica, not Charlie, with 68 overlaps between 2022 and 2025, including 29 with Charlie. Candace suggests that Turning Point knew about these planes, making it a lie by severe omission. Andrew Calvert told her something specific about when he arrived on the tarmac on the afternoon of September 10th that didn't add up. She asked who told him about a credible threat to her and Tucker, realizing he never said who the threat was from. Candace shares the license plates of 5 vehicles rented by Duncan Aviation for whoever departed from those planes. Candace reviews the Wolves in Finance video regarding missing money at Turning Point. During the comment segment, Candace receives a relay that Coach Cullen received saying that Mikey McCoy didn't go into the hospital, he only picked someone up. Episode 267 aired on November 18, 2025. Titled, The Great Exodus from Utah? Where did the Egyptians go on September 10th? Candace clarified missing filing deadlines and revealed SU. BTT landed 6 days before with 9 to 12 Egyptians and 5 rental cars, and she gives the license plate of the 5th car. She questioned if BTT people staged the released footage, as witnesses saw someone on the roof a week earlier described as tall, skinny, white, with a backpack, looking down at the amphitheater. A white SUV appeared in each piece of released footage. Plane N560TW was owned by Turning Point donor TW Lewis. Brian Harpole, Charlie's long-term security guard, blamed UVU Police Chief Jeff Long for not securing roofs on Sean Ryan's show, saying drones couldn't fly due to restrictions. Blake Neff recounted his experience with the amazing Mikey McCoy's quivering lip and dropped his call log showing a 45-second call at 11:24 a.m. The Jewish donor who yelled at Charlie was identified as Joyce Chernick, wife of Aubrey Chernick. Episode 268 aired on November 19, 2025. Titled, Charlie Kirk and the Crossing of the Delaware. Candace received a tips letter revealing that on September 10th plane SU. BTT had no public movement data and was processed under diplomatic or dignitary category. Only federal vehicles are allowed access to private gates with government planes. Those vehicles arrived and left with SU, BTT, and assets, were transferred to cars without diplomatic plates. The plane must be connected to 920 North King Street in Wilmington, Delaware, where the DOJ has been located since 1997. FBI, DEA, and USS work together in this same tower. The informant urges Candace to analyze the flight data. Known passengers arriving to Provo on September 10th included Tyler Bowyer, Erica Kirk, Elizabeth McCoy, Stacy Sheridan, a priest, Andrew Calvert, and Calvert's wife. Candace noted only Erica can release the autopsy according to Utah law. In the comments, Candace makes a friendly jab at Tim Pool and says, "I like Tim Pool. He's always been good to me." Also in the comments, connections to Bridget Macron are stirred due to the French company, Satis, that contracted the Wilmington hangar. Episode 269 aired on November 20th, 2025. Titled, Another French Front. Did Charlie Kirk save my life? Candace revealed that within 72 hours of the shooting, Andrew Calvert told her on the phone, "Candace, it was supposed to be you." Another well-known woman married to a CIA contractor said the same thing. Candace theorizes that they wanted Candace and Tucker to watch their friend die as a warning. She then goes into connecting Charlie Kirk's timeline to events in which she covered Bridget Macron, starting in March of 2024. From Turning Point insider tips, people are getting fired, moved around, and families are being threatened. Brian Harpole presented texts to Chief Long as his own, but they were actually Dan Flood's texts. Tips indicated they never did a walkthrough upon arrival, with Dan Flood primarily concerned about the Hall of Flags and SUV access. Candace also notes that footage of Tyler Robinson turning himself in is missing, and Brian Shee, a reporter in Utah, is unsuccessful in attempts to obtain documents in Orem. Episode 270 aired on November 21st, 2025. Titled, Operation See You in Valhalla, Charlie. Candace replayed a favorite Julius Caesar betrayal story of Charlie's from a PragerU episode. An email tip revealed SU. BTT stopped in Minot, North Dakota for 1 hour before Provo. There's an FBI office in Minot and an Air Force base home to the 891st Missile Security Forces Squadron. They had finished Operation Valhalla in Minnesota August 24th through 29th, practicing long-range shooting. On September 12th, Kash Patel said, "I'll see you in Valhalla." SU, BTT stayed in Lincoln, Nebraska for 6 days, July 20th to 26th, and Nebraska Secretary of State, Bob Evan, established a trade delegation to Egypt. Tips suggested French Foreign Legion involvement. Candace questioned why everyone was wearing maroon shirts and why the event wasn't publicized or announced, possibly to control attendance and identify participants who were wearing maroon.